What's going on, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to moosareacts. Today we're just going to be going through a few updates regarding news coming in regarding the Man United injuries, and also the biggest news that we have so far is Onana is being shipped out of the club, and dare I say it, being made a scapegoat. First, I just want to touch on a few stories that we have. Well, let me just get straight into it with Onana first and foremost. As everyone knows, when David De Gea was pushed out of Old Trafford, the guy signed a contract, went on holiday, expecting to return to pre-season, ends up getting pushed out of the club, locker rooms packed out, and cleared, and then he's told that he's no longer, his services will be required at Man United. He doesn't get the testimonial. The guy goes a whole season without having a club. Training and just trying to get his mind right. Think about it, spending like 10 years plus, one of the last players to actually win a Premier League title at Man United, and spending 10 years plus at the club to get kicked out like that. I think a lot of people don't really take on the effects that this has, especially mentally, and the mental health that it impacts any human being and any player. Imagine spending that level of time at Man United, winning, player of the season, fans player of the season, saving them year in, year out, doing your utmost for the club, being told that you're, a very important part of that. And then, having a couple seasons where your standard drops, but your standard still being a very good standard. David De Gea was Golden Glove winner when we got rid of him, if my memory serves me right. He was joint Golden Glove winner with someone when we got rid of David De Gea that season, which is just crazy to think about, that someone could be joint Golden Glove winner and then be looked at as a liability by the fan base, and then make it an easy decision for the club to make to get rid of him in such a fashion, and then end up with Onana, who, it wasn't the keeper that I wanted. He wasn't even on my radar. And I made it very clear that any goalkeeper that comes in at Man United that has to stand in between those sticks and has to have the amount of shots on goal is not going to find it easy. David had so many shots on goal week in, week out. Man United had conceded the most shots on goal week in, week out. And he done the best that he could do with a bad defence, a bad defensive unit. He done the best that he could do. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was never really an issue of David De Gea. So then when it wasn't about his shot stopping, his ability to save us in important moments, it started talking about, well, what else can he do? Can he play out for the back? He's not good with his feet. And then we had this whole PR about David De Gea is not good with his feet. We need a player that's good with his feet. Click your fingers, snap your fingers. Before you know it, that was the cue to get Onana in. Onana came through the door and we was promised this lovely ball-playing goalkeeper, playing out from the back, all of that stuff that we were promised. And then for me, like I said from the beginning, I didn't think it would be an easy job. So I told the fan base, look, you're going to have to give whoever the goalkeeper is, you're going to give him time. So I got behind Onana on the basis that you had to give the goalkeeper time because it was going to be difficult. And you couldn't just get rid of David De Gea, next goalkeeper comes in, and then you start blaming him for the exact same things that you were blaming David for. So that being the case, I was staunch. I wasn't going to allow, people to get David De Gea kicked out of the club and then get Onana in for the amount of money that we paid for him, which was ridiculous, and then be sitting on flipping podcasts talking about Onana's the problem. Well, hello. We had David De Gea, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and we got rid of him for this guy, and now you're screaming out about getting another goalkeeper. Where's that going to lead? And then when we look at some of the data and the stats in terms of the amount of goals that we were conceding, there isn't really any good goalkeepers in the league anymore. Bar one or two, there isn't really many good goalkeepers in the league. And this is one of the things that we spoke about. Brighton's goalkeeper led to more big goal conceding chances than Onana did last season, had a worse return in terms of how many goals he let in than Onana last season. But you don't hear this big media push for Brighton to get a new goalkeeper, for Brighton to change the person in between the sticks, for Brighton to change how they play from the back. You don't hear this big media push, but he conceded more goals than Onana, conceded more big chances, or was the fault, or was the reason for having more big chances and conceded on their goal than Onana. And we just don't hear the same level of media, the same level of press. So for me, it only leads down to, for me, that the club have used this opportunity of an unqualified fan base. They're not qualified. I don't care what you say. You're not qualified. You can't look at data and stats, then look at what's going on and still make a decision based on, well, I don't like him. You're just not qualified to make these type of decisions. But the fan base have allowed the club to have an excuse to make Onana the scapegoat for the new manager. Because the reality is this, guys, nothing's going to change. United are not going to start winning considerably and just start going on runs and, oh yeah, this is a new United because we got a new goalkeeper. The goalkeeper doesn't affect how we play on the pitch. It's not going to affect those 10 men in front of him. If the way the manager sets us up is not good enough, it's not going to impact anything on the basis that we've got a new goalkeeper. And that's the reality, because you look at other teams, like I said, Brighton, where the reason the goalkeeper's not an issue is because, as far as they're concerned, they're going to try their best to make sure that he's involved in the game as little as possible and keep the ball up the other end. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or try to defend as a unit. In terms of the goalkeeper being this big, massive issue, big problem, he's not. We wasn't in, like the bottom 5 or the bottom 10 in terms of the goals that we conceded and stuff like that. We were there or thereabouts, similar to Aston Villa, who were in a title race until the last, not title race, they were in a top 4 race until the last ball was kicked, last game of the season. They had an opportunity to win their game. If one of the other two teams lost, they were going to get top 4 with a goalkeeper who conceded more goals than Onana did. So it tells you that you can make top 4 with a goalkeeper like Onana. So just changing Onana is not going to guarantee us anything, guys, because he's not the problem. We're either going to get top 4 on the basis that the manager sets this team up properly and he knows what he's doing, or we're not going to get top 4 because he doesn't set the team up properly and we fail as a collective. So as far as I'm concerned, Onana will continue to be the level that he's at. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think there's any amazing goalkeepers like that. You can't name me more than 5 top-level goalkeepers at this moment that's playing at a high level. They're just not there. But if you look at the amount of teams that are playing Champions League football week in, week out, Onana is going to be good enough to play for one of those teams, whether it's in Turkey, whether it's in somewhere in Europe, whether it's, Spain, Italy, wherever. He'll, like Greece and teams like that are in the Greek teams that are in the Champions League and things like that. Onana will play at that level. It's just us as a team, United, we're not going to be playing at that level anytime soon. And you see it, players leave and they end up playing at that level. They move on, they go on and they're playing Champions League football. Many of our players that's left Man United that we've laughed at in the past, whether it's, Rasmus Højlund playing Champions League football, whether it's, who else has got? Scott McTominay, he's going to be playing Champions League football. Who else have we let go? Everyone's basically in Europe somewhere. Even if we look at Sancho at Aston Villa, he's going to be in Europa League, playing European football. People are just playing, you know what I'm saying, at a better level than United. We just have a bigger option than Onana. And for me, he's been made a scapegoat. And what can I say about that? It is what it is, man. And I'm going to drink one for Onana, my African companion there, and just let him sail off into the sunset, because I know Faz was coming for me, Saeed, but I've never defended Onana to that extent. Onana was not the goalkeeper that I wanted. It wasn't someone that I wanted in between the sticks. I wish him all the best if he does make that move to Turkey. And the team's doing quite well there. They're second or first in the league. He's going to go there and try to compete for a league title and do his thing like if Amrin's made it clear, because Amrin's made, for me, he's just made him another scapegoat. He's picking at reasons why he's not doing well. It's not the goalkeeper, Amrin, man. Just sort out your tactics, sort out how you're setting up the players, and actually field a team that you want to go out there and actually win a game. And how about you add another midfielder in the middle of the park and give us a defense, give us a stronghold in the middle of the park, and allow the defense to have a bit more support rather than just scapegoating a goalkeeper and want us to believe that it's going to make all the difference. So it is what it is. Wish Onana all the best. Few updates on injuries. Cunha seems like it's not as bad as we thought. He's back on the bike training. Could be back quicker than we actually thought. Mason Mount quite similar. But the problem with Mount is that he gets back and then he goes again. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see how that pans out. And then, yeah, I guess we're just waiting for Onana to see if he actually accepts the terms and the conditions that United have. And then we're looking at the derby a week from now on Sunday. Yeah, can we do it? Can we make it happen? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen against the City game. I'm going to do a couple videos during the week to see the preparations that we're going to actually need for that game, to see if anything's done different, if there's more updates. I'll look into that. Obviously, the Mainoo thing as well. Kobe's been getting a lot of stick for his recent social media posts, but I just think people need to get over it. I don't even know why you're on his social media. Like, the guy's, it's his personal social media. He posts training in the gym, you know, determined, trying to stay in tip-top shape. The guy should be at England. He's not, because he's not getting the minutes that he should be getting at United. He's doing his thing, like, just, I don't know. I don't get this fascination with every little thing that a player does, even on their just own personal social media account of them training. We got to read in between the lines. There's nothing to read in between the lines. He asked for a transfer, because a loan transfer, because he wanted to leave the club to get game time. So what's there to read? He continued to ask for that transfer until deadline day. He wants to play football. So what else are you trying to read between the posts? He was clear about it. It's not like he was hiding behind closed doors. He's not. And Mainoo's been a model professional throughout the whole thing. He's not been, you haven't heard things coming out in the back and him screaming and shouting. He's always got his kit on. He's always got his wash bag. He's sitting in the dugout. He's ready to go when called upon. And he just wants to play. And he loves the club. And that was one of the reasons he said, look, don't sell me. I don't want to be sold. I don't want to leave. But get me out on a loan. Let me play the game. Let me, you know, keep myself, you know, at the top level that I believe at. If you think you're not ready for me yet at this season at the club, let me go elsewhere and prove myself and do what I've got to do. And then hopefully when I do that, you realise that I am what you're missing. And when I come back next season, I'll slot in. So I got no problems with Mainoo at all. I believe that he's going to outlast the manager. And as soon as the next manager comes in, Kobe will be starting and will be one of the main starters on that list, because any manager that comes in is going to be playing free in the middle of the park, and you want someone who can get their foot on the ball and actually play. You just don't want someone who's just spamming balls left, right and centre. The other one gets it and treats the ball like a hot potato and just gets rid of it. So it is what it is. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about the whole Onana situation. Let me know what you think about also the Mainoo situation. And yeah, guys, do you think we're going to get anyone in the January transfer window? Do you think United goes in big? Can we do what Chelsea and other teams have done in the past and make a big, massive signing in the January transfer window? Dare I say, can we go and get Baleba in from Brighton and pay big money and make that happen? We've also been linked with Lavia from Chelsea, and then Baleba maybe in the summer. I don't know, man. Let me know your thoughts and ideas on that, guys, in the chat. See you next time. I should have a show coming out during the week. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm out.